In this video, we're going to recap how to factorize by taking out a common factor. So let's take a nice straightforward example to start with. Something like 5x plus 15. Now, when we factorize, what we are doing is putting brackets back in. So the first step is we look at our numbers, the 5 and the 15. What number is a factor, i.e. the word factorize, of 5 and 15? Well, the biggest factor of these two is 5. So 5 is what's going to come out of the brackets. Now, because normally when I expand a bracket, I multiply, I'm going in reverse, so I'm going to divide. What is 5 divided by 5? Well, it's 1. So that's just a 1x. What's 15 divided by 5? Well, that's 3. So it's plus 3. Now, we don't need the 1 there. We can just write 5x plus 3. Let's try another one. Let's try 24x minus 36. Right, so what is the highest factor of 24 and 36? Now, there are lots of factors in common with these two, lots of common factors, but there is only one highest common factor. So let's have a look. What goes into 24 and 36? Well, we know 2 does. It's not very high. We know 4 does. That's not very high. 3, no. 6, also not very high. But can you also see they're in the 12 times table? So I'm going to take a 12 out. Now remember, we're dividing. What is 24x divided by 12? Well, that is 2. What is 36 divided by 12? That is 3. And that's my answer. Now, what would happen if I didn't spot the 12? Say I decided, I know they're in the 6 times table, and I took a 6 out. Well, 24 divided by 6 is 4. 36 divided by 6 is 6. But looking at this, I still can take out another number. So what goes into 4 and 6? What's a factor of 4 and 6? Well, a factor of 4 and 6 is 2. So I'm going to take the 2 out as well. Please notice I multiply things outside the brackets. 4x divided by 2 is 2x. 6 divided by 2 is 3. And 6 times 2 is 12. And I have now got the same answer. It takes a little longer doing it this way, but you get there too. So it would be easier to have spotted the 12, but you can do it if you don't spot the 12. Well, let's try one that's a little trickier now. So that's when we're just taking out one number. Sometimes it's not a number we're after, but a letter. So let's have a look at what happens if there's a letter. So say I have x squared plus 3x, and I'm asked to factorize that. Well, my numbers are 1 and 3. 1 is the highest common factor of 1 and 3. That's pretty pointless. However, we can see that they've both got an x. So x is what's going to come out of the bracket. Now remember, we're dividing. X squared divided by x is x. 3x divided by x is 3. Another way of looking at it, this says I've got 2 x's. I've taken one out, so I'm left with 1. I've taken the x out, so I'm just left with the 3. One more of these. So say I've got y squared minus 5y. They both have a y. Y squared, take out a y, leaves me with a y. And 5y, take out a y, leaves me with a 5. Now, they can be even nastier. What they can do is both. So let's have a look at one where there is both. So say you were asked to factorize 4x squared plus 8x. You've got to think about numbers and letters, constants and variables. What number divides into 4 and 8? What's the biggest factor of 4 and 8? Yes, 2 is a factor, but 4 is bigger. However, they both still have an x. So I'm going to take both the 4 and the x out. Now think to yourself, What is 4x squared divided by 4x? Well, 4 divided by 4 is 1. X squared divided by x is just x. I had 2 x's, I've taken one out. Plus 8 divided by 4 is 2. I've already taken that x out, so that's my answer. And remember, we can tidy it up by not having that 1 and just call it x plus 2. And that is how to do factorising by a common